Grand Rising Soul Siblings, welcome back. It's Shay Seeking, and this is Not Your Mama's Bible Study, along with a little bit of His Stories Lies. Okay, so again, I just was inspired by looking at one term, turned into another, and I ended up wanting to look at what I think I'm going to do exiles, and I think it was another one. I can't remember exactly right now which one it is. Okay. So, I came across this little article here. I guess somebody made it 5 years ago. And it says Rise of the Autochtons or Autochthons. And it says exiles in own land. Okay, because again, I like to bring this to the attention of people that may not have witnessed or come across any of these speeches or quotes from MLK or X. So, we should. Okay, so again, the reason why everybody is going to have their own opinion about these men, the more we come into information, the more we start to see things. But again, I always look at everything from a non-biased position and standpoint. Okay. Oh, my ears are ringing. Okay, maybe I should. Okay, so I always look at things from that stance, and again, I can bring something out to someone's attention, or I can dislike something or not agree with something without judging. Okay, so I think that's what we need to start understanding, that just because someone is not agreeing with everything you say, you don't like everything they do, doesn't mean that you can't learn something from that person. And so this is another thing that I think we lack when it comes to this system or this construct that we're under. We take what they have told us and ingrained in us. Okay. Again, this is why I go against that grain, because you can also find alternative information. So if these people were to be the ones that stole your land, why would they teach you about those particular subjects in school? Why would they enlighten you on certain terms that they're using, or such as legalese in law? Okay, which again, we think that we know, but we have no idea. As for questioning things, okay, like when you're in court and they say, do you understand? Okay, so again, what does that actually mean? Does that mean, do you stand under something? Is that, should you say yes? Should you say no? Has anyone tried? Again, so I know that's off subject, but that's like a good thing to look into. Okay, or it's a good way of showing you how we just don't understand a lot of things, or we have lack of knowledge of them, and it's been done that way purposely. Okay, so again, when we hear certain terms and people say certain things, I always dig a little deeper. Okay, so people are going to say, oh, well, these guys were this and that. But the thing that I'm saying is, just like a lot of us were adding to the pain of our people by being not inner and overstanding some of the things that we've participated in, okay, within our communities, within our households, within our lives, that you may be turning away from or letting go right now in order to find yourself. So those chaotic things that they put out there, distractions and deception, just even with our music and things like that, you have to start to, pick and choose. What do you want to let into your energy amongst your children, yourself, in your household? It starts there. And then, it transpires, or you start to deal with people and they start to see as something and a change in you. But again, a lot of our people are judgmental, and they will judge you instead of trying to find out what you're actually talking about. So anyways, all that is off topic. I don't even know why I had to go all into that, but we're going to go ahead and talk about exiles. Okay, so what I wanted to say is, I honor these men for the things that they did within the last years of their lives. They were on a journey as well. Some of these people may not have known, and still to this day may not know or notice, that they are being used as a tool Okay, that's why I respect Lauryn Hill with her un I can't remember, uncensored maybe, songs that she did, because again she's calling that out, and that may be why she fell right from heaven. Okay, so this may be why these people actually passed away, is because they started to wake up. And we have to admit that both of these men went in a certain direction, but at some point in time they realized, wait a damn minute, something is not right. And they changed, like did a total 360 degrees, right? And started talking about other things, like Martin saying 100 years later the Negro is still languishing in the corners. Okay, and I'm wondering if these are the four corners we're talking about in the Bible, but again, okay, of American society, and finds himself so not in exile, okay, but an exile in his own land. Okay, so we've come here today to dramatize a shameful condition. Okay, now dramatize is a real dramatic word to use, so again, maybe we can break that down. Shameful condition. Okay, these are all words that are standing out to me. Okay, and then what did he mean by 100 years later? 100 years after what? But again, most of us hadn't even heard about this quote until later on in life, because in school they ingrain and over or they indoctrinate you with I have a dream, and we go there every fucking year in school on that day, and we talk about this man, and we talk about that one thing as if this is the only thing or information or speech he's ever done, and they don't go further than that. See, even when you get to high school, they don't go deeper than that, right? Okay, so even him saying before the Pilgrim Fathers landed, we were here. What did he mean when he said that? Now, again, whenever I'm saying something, I have the tendency to speak to people as if you're in my head. But again, the easiest way to confirm these things are, for those of you that haven't heard them, I know a lot of you already have, you can Google a short term. You can Google 100 years later, the Negro is still, and the thing will come up, right? Okay, so just remember a pinch of what I'm giving you, and then you can use that to further see. Okay, so even Malcolm X saying you are the aborigines, but you don't want to be called aborigines. See, even Malcolm, I watched one of his speeches last night on police brutality. Again, it's a shame that they were talking about this then, and we still have to rehash this now. But what he said was, he kept saying so-called Negro, so-called Negro. And he said, I'm sorry that I'm saying that, but when I'm saying so-called Negro, I don't like to use that term because I know what it means, right? So a lot of people don't even go into that. Okay, soul siblings do, but a lot of people don't go into these things. So again, let's go ahead and see what we're saying. Okay. Okay, so again, maybe I'll put the link in the comment section for this article for you guys to go back and look at it. But you know, there is some information. I didn't read the whole thing. Okay, but all these terms that I see here, this is, after I'm done with this, I'm going to go ahead and read this. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and share it with you guys. But just glancing over it, very much a lot of information here, especially for those who are just coming in to trying to see what we aborigines are talking about when we're talking about Black lives don't matter, because by law they do not. And that makes you a property or a chattel, slave or property of these people, because again, we don't understand the condition that we're in, because we have been taught by our oppressors. And I think this is another thing that Malcolm talks about. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the term. Wicked was the other one that I wanted to do. So exile, the verb, it says 13th century. Again, we have to go back the way that I do things with history in the Bible. Now that I'm seeing that, I would go back to the third day and I would see what was going on in the third day. And then I would look at this term and match it up to what was going on in the third day. I would actually, like we're doing now, look up the term, try to find as many terms, strike me that I want to look into. Okay. And then look at your own condition now. Look at the stuff that can be confirmed, at least by your parents and grandparents then. And then you go ahead and decide. Okay. So that's why I like the concordance. But again, it doesn't tell you exactly every single time the term was used, how they're telling you it was used, right? Okay. So that's up to you to decide if this is how it is by reading through the whole thing. This is why I never understood in church why they don't read the Bible or go through it step by step and break it down. Again, this is all by design. So it says, let's see, exile, banish. Okay. So again, when somebody is banished from something, it's banishment, again, on the surface, right? Without breaking the word down. It makes me think that somebody was somewhere and then they were banished from their place. Like, you can't even come back here, right? So expel or expel, drive off. Again, here's where we go with casting away, driving off, moving away. Excuse me. Let me see. Okay. So, yeah. So being driven off or moved away. And this is where the ab comes. So I really don't like the term ab. But that is our current status, right? So we want to go back to origine. And that is spelled several different ways. Okay. But, or earth. Earthling. These type of beings. This is what I like to refer to myself as. Okay. And again, if you refer to yourself as the earth, again, that is also talking about the caste system. So how do we go ahead? This is as far back as we can really go. Autochthonous, original, origine, whatnot. Okay. So, let's see. I hope I'm not yelling. It sounds like I'm yelling. From Latin, we're not even going to do all that. Banishment, exile, place of exile. So that is, in my eyes, talking about the Sheol or hell, or in the lower realms of the caste system, not attached to the abode of God, because that is for him, his children, his source, his priest and his militia and all of these things, and his judicial system. Okay. So let's see. Banished person, away. Okay. So again, in order for you to be sent away from your status, you had to have the status in the first place. See? Okay. You had to have a status or an origin there, or you had to reside there in order to be cast out. Okay. Let's see. According to Watkins, the second element. Okay. To wander. Okay. Kind of like they were doing in the wilderness. I'm just saying. Okay. Also Greek for ala. Okay. We'll see that. To wander, stray, or roam about. Okay. Several etymologies are possible. It may be derived from the verb exuler. I don't know. Let's see. To take out. To take. Okay. Hence, the one who is taken out. Again, look at the caste system. Know that the God of creation created that caste system as well. And it is the oldest form of any type of construct or foundation, firmament, or establishment. Okay. And it's moved itself from continent to continent, conquering. Okay. So let's see. Okay, hence the one that is taken out. It might belong to walk, hence walk out. It might even belong to the root of Greek. You see the word, to drive, who is driven out. Okay, let's see. I don't Come on now. I don't want to do that. Okay. So in ancient times, folk etymology derived the second element from Latin solum, or soil. Okay. Again, the earth, the dry land. Um, Even the dust, okay, came from the earth, the originals, in order to create other beings. And once those beings, so we have to be careful, because again, some of these beings were Slavic, which means, actually just means basically white slaves. Okay. Again, they didn't all have to be light complected, right? But they were Slavic, foreign people that were brought into America in our instance. Okay. And they were down low, and they were, especially in the South and everything, they were mingling with the people. And again, who was brought out? Okay. Okay. All these dates of independence and all of these things, we're going to probably go into them. Okay. I have some stuff lined up. So, okay. So now, forced removal. Okay. So, what is this? No, I don't want to do anything. Stop. Just stop it. I'll just do that. Okay. So it says, exile, the noun, 1300s, forced removal, okay, from one's country. Okay. So exile in his own land. Okay. So we have to understand that United States did not, all that corporation, okay, that republic, excuse me, didn't always reside where it is now. It moved over, tricked other people. Remember how Mexico used to come all the way up? So remember this, when people are saying, that they were not in North America. Well, how far was North America? What was the border, right? Because the border of Canada on many maps that I found came all the way down, into Michigan, and into a couple, it came down a little bit further than what we're seeing now. Okay. So, and then if Mexico was all the way up into California, all the way up into Texas, and all, you see what I'm saying? That's a large amount of land. Okay. Where we're saying a portion of, darker view, copper colored, whatnot, and other different ranges of so-called color. Okay. Resided. Okay. And we are the so-called descendants. Okay. I don't like that term, because we're ascending now. Okay. Of those groups of people. And we are mixed with, some of us are mixed with the Mongoloid. Some of us are mixed with certain different groups and everything like this. That's not the point at this point in time. Okay. To be separating and dividing still. So again, we can state the fact that some of these people are Siberian in origin or Mongoloid in origin. But again, we have to, I just want to reiterate that there was mixing going on, and there's no way to know. You see what I'm saying? This is why some of us have certain shaped eyes, and some of us have rounder faces, and some of us have more this is just what happened. Okay. So, it doesn't change anything. Okay. Forced removal from one's country, from Old French, exile. So again, we're even talking Old French. So again, before Europe came here, okay, Portuguese, the French, Spanish, and Asian, China to a certain extent, okay, just to be in general terms, came here before them too. Okay. So again, we have to understand that. We have to see that. Okay. So banishment, place of exile. Okay. Banished person. Okay. Exile down here in WordNet. A person who is voluntarily absent from home or country. Now, what does that mean? Voluntarily? Okay. What does this mean? What does it mean to be voluntarily? Are you choosing to be absent from your nationality in these things? And we don't know it? Is there some way that we can go ahead and figure out a way to redeem ourselves in a sense? Okay. Just questions, okay? Exile now, a person who is expelled from home or country by authority. So then who would be the authority? In this instance, since again, in my opinion, from doing the research I've done on the biblical and the historical, we have been fooled into thinking that there is someone up in the clouds that is looking down at every single thing you do, and he knows all this and he does all this stuff. What does that sound like? That's like a fear tactic of somebody that wants to control you. Again, the eye on the back of your dollar bill. Okay, so something hovering or brooding over you, and it makes you feel some type of way. So all your life you're afraid of this, or going to hell, or whatever. But if we just knew that your government or government, okay, we remember in Genesis again and again, he wanted someone to preside. Go ahead and look at the term preside, and then look at the term president and see what you get. Okay, so this is what I'm saying about just really knowing and trying your best, because sometimes you can open up one word and things just start to appear. Okay, and it's something that has to happen on a different standpoint that's not going to hold up to their to these scholarly folk, not going to hold up to what you were taught in school. But the whole construct is about lying to you and keeping you away from yourself. Okay, so the authority, okay, don't we say that these people have authority? Law enforcement and all these other people, okay? Militias, military, presidents, kings, governors, okay? So, let's see. Indian Removal Act, Trail of Tears, burning down your shit in Oklahoma and other places, okay? So, and see, this is when you start seeing things. You go in the Bible and you look, and you'll see several times. There's one whole chapter, I can't remember what we were just in the other day that I was reading, that talks about all the punishments of all these different groups because they was going back and doing fucked up shit to people. And God said, well, for you doing these, I'm going to do this to you. And I'm going to burn your shit down. So what do you mean? You see what I'm saying? Can you not see that this God uses his authority in the same manner as your government? I mean, we're just pointing it out here. I'm just going to keep it real. Okay. You can think what you want to think. It's not going to affect me. Okay. And what I think should not affect you. Okay. If you feel that this is false information, then this is not the page for you. Most of the people that I'm speaking to, the small percent, it's going to click for them right away. Okay. Or they already know. Okay. But one of these things might jog more information. This is why I'm saying. Okay? I don't know. It's just something. Okay? So the act of expelling a person from their native land. Now, when we're talking about native, how are we using this term? Because native, okay, let's see. Native means that you were born in a place, right? So while they're moving tribes around, people are being born. If these people were Americans and they were out west or in the Midwest or further over before they crossed over the Mississippi, okay, then at some point in time, that wasn't the United States. United States is not even America. You see what I'm saying? We're talking about the District of Columbia, which is a 10-mile radius, again, somewhere over there in the east of the garden, or in DC. Okay? So, again, let's keep moving. So it says, exile verb, expel from a country. So again, you're native, just because you were born there doesn't mean anything. Move tribes to certain places or groups to certain places. They had children there. They thought that they were from this place. But earlier, these people were originally from somewhere else. Okay? And migrated. Some of these people even migrated. Okay? To get away from some of these people. Okay? So, let's see. Okay. So yeah, I think that's probably about it. Again, hopefully you can pull from this and see that This is something also that God does in the Bible. He expels people from places. He takes lands from people and kills the people on the land so he can give the land to other people. Well, what happened in the West? What happened with the gold rush? What happened with the American Indian or Aborigine, Native, Indigenous peoples? What happened? See? So, again, a lot of people just don't want to admit this, but it works in the same manner. God said, you're doing this, I'm about to burn down all your forts. I'm about to burn down your walls. I'm about to do this because you tried to extend your borders. What the fuck God care about a border when he can't even come down here and stop something that's supposedly happening to a certain group of people? So then in my eyes, one of these gods, or the one that you may be worshiping, may be the very one that is, again, your Satan or devil. Again, I don't look at Satan the way that the Bible tells us to, because there's no proof there to show me what horrible things he's done compared to the amount of horrible things that this so-called God has done. So, again, I can't stop my mind from going there. A lot of people are indoctrinated by church. They feel like they're holding on to something that, but again, the power seems to begin for those who see it for what it is. Okay? So again, thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to go ahead and hit the thumbs up. Comment if you'd like. Again, you can find me on Facebook and YouTube at American Aborigines Unchained. Yeah, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.